Hey, what's up, guys? Today is day 167 of my semen retention streak, and kind of some interesting, slightly weird timing things have been happening in the last few days that I want to talk about. As you can see right now, there is a full moon, new moon, full moon out. It is April Fool's right now. Happy new calendar year to those of you that know what I'm talking about. And I'm just gonna take a little walk tonight through the parking lot around here and just chat with you guys. So here's something interesting. Now, guys, if you are following me, you're probably following another guy called Bogdan, which I think he's out in LA. He's a semen retention YouTube channel as well. Shout out to you, Bogdan. Really appreciate your content, dude. And something interesting that I was hearing him speak about is this whole concept of it's either full moons or new moons, and he's basically realized that his urges shoot up around new moons, full moons. And listen, I've gotten into, I've studied quite a bit of like numerology, astrology. Like, I absolutely think there's something to this, but I never connected something like urges or emotional stability or anything like that. I never connected that to patterns with the moons. And if you know this stuff, if you look into this stuff, it's like, okay, clearly women's cycles are tied to the lunar cycles, the moon cycles, all that stuff. It's like, wouldn't it make sense that men also have some sort of tie to that? And like, I've never really looked into it. I typically just lean more into the masculine, like, nah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to push my way through it. Doesn't matter what's going on. But here's something interesting. After Bogdan was talking about this, I paid a little bit of attention in the last couple days here. And I got some cars driving around here. And here's what's interesting, guys. In the last couple days, I have had some wild urges come up. Like, really intense, more intense than they've been in a really long time. Number one, there were opportunities that I could have consciously released in my dreams. And if you follow my channel, guys, you know that I do my very, very best to not release in my dream state. And I haven't yet on this streak, which is super cool. And it's funny because even in my dream states, the narrative, the plot is always that I'm still on semen retention and I will not release. It is so embedded in my subconscious mind now that I just will not release in my dreams, which is awesome. But the urges, guys, in the past few days got so crazy. Like, I could have. There was another one where I woke up and like had to do the perineum exercising and that some breathing, exercising, move this energy up, and I was like, holy shit, dude, like, thought I was past that, man. So that was the first thing that I recognized. The second thing that I started to recognize was emotionally, it felt like a lot more was coming up again. And I wasn't necessarily wanting to deal with it and feel it. Like, it was hard stuff to the point where, like, there was a night where I wanted to just eat a bunch of food and like binge, like do some binge eating. It wasn't even like terrible food. It's like mostly pretty healthy food, but it's like that concept of like, guys, eating can often can help like numb and suppress these emotions. And to be honest, guys, what I have learned from this 167-day streak already as I'm recording this, I'll probably post this closer to like the 170s or something, or later on. That is one full moon. But what I've been learning, guys, is most men, they lose the streak. They give up, they relapse on these streaks because of the emotions, because of the internal turmoil, the emotional pressure. It's too much. And like, as men, we aren't always taught how to deal well with our emotions. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't really brought up at all to deal well with the emotions. It was kind of more just like, hey, you know, upper Midwest, be a tough man, go get a real job, become a, you know, like real well driller, just suck it up, do the hard thing. Like, you just kind of push the emotions down. And if you've been on one of these long streaks, guys, you know, the longer that you go on these semen retention streaks, the more that it brings up all the stuff that you have suppressed. It spotlights it. It makes you see that there is a need for you to start working through it and releasing it. Bug like flew into my eye there for a second. I hate that feeling. The emotions, guys, the internal turmoil can just be too much, and that can be the thing that causes you to release. And I realize, like, I've been really good on this streak to like give myself time and attention to like sit with this stuff and work through this stuff. I'm even right now doing a bunch of Chinese medicine herbals focused on the lungs, releasing a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, focusing on the kidneys, releasing a lot of fear, right? Which is great, and it's definitely working. But I'm telling you guys, in the last, you know, Bogdan was talking about how it's kind of the days leading up to the new moon, the full moon up there, that he starts to see some of these patterns and tendencies and like things come up. And I was like, wait a second, I'm experiencing that same thing. Like the same thing. So that was interesting. So definitely opportunities to like release in my dreams. Even last night, another like wildly sexual dream. And I will tell you this too. Something that I am noticing is that if I do not meditate, guys, before bed, which I typically do, but some nights I'm just like sleep and energy is thrown off, and I'll like work super late and just wear myself out and go to bed right away. But every time I do that, I'm finding I'm not happy with the results, and oftentimes my dreams aren't really like a revelation as to, you know, like a message or something I need to know. It's more like the last thing or the things leading up to me going to bed is like what my dream revolves around. It's kind of interesting. And I've also realized like, I think it's easier for me to have those really sexual dreams come up when I'm not meditating right before bed and just kind of like clearing everything from the day and just calming my nervous system and doing some healing work and breathing and just like prayer and time with God. Like, I'm finding if I don't do that necessarily before bed, it's like my mind marinates on the thing right before bed, which makes a lot of sense. This is why I'm a strong proponent on this channel for telling you guys to meditate and do like subconscious reprogramming exercises before bed while you're shifting into, you know, beta, alpha, theta waves, getting deeper and deeper into that reprogramming state. So that was an interesting thought here that I'm observing. Here's the third thing, guys. It's been a while since I've talked about this, but I had another out-of-body experience, and I haven't had one of those in a long time. And I still haven't figured out how to control these mother effers. Listen, guys, I've listened to Rin talk about his out-of-body experiences. I have another artist that I work with. She was telling me about her out-of-body experiences, how they happen. Mine have never happened in meditations or anything like that. I just, slipped out of my body. No. For me, it's always in sleep paralysis. And it's never when I go to bed for the night. It is always when I go to take a nap, because I am just exhausted, like super, super exhausted, mentally, emotionally, physically. Like I lay down and I can just feel it happen. This energy moving through my body, I can feel it. And it's like, I don't know how else to explain. It's like being sucked out of my body. And I used to be really, really afraid of this. And there was a lot of fear around it. I don't have that anymore. And now I just kind of like, it kind of feels good. And I lean into it. And I'm telling you, this time around, I like popped out of my body. And it was like I was in my room in my apartment, but I wasn't. It was like, which is a little frustrating because I'm trying to figure out how to do this. You know, if you call this astral projection, or if you call this whatever, just out of body experiences, I don't know, call it whatever you want. I've never tried to do any of this. It's always just happened. And typically it's happened around really big, like spiritual awakenings. It's happened around like very difficult, emotional seasons. I had a ton of these right after my mom passed, and like in some healing seasons and detoxing seasons. And then it's been a minute. I haven't had these in a few months. So why do I suddenly get one? Right when the full moon, new moon, this whole, April 1st thing is happening leading up to this. Like, why now? So anyways, I got sucked out of my body, and I had to focus so hard to like keep clarity and look around and like not see, like not want to like look at my body and get sucked in. But I did look back at my body, and I swear it looked just like me, like laying there on the bed with my arm up, like in whatever position that I was in. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did it, because I was like in my bathroom, and it wasn't quite exactly though the same bathroom. So I'm like, did it work? Did it not work? I'm definitely not in my body. So like, I still haven't totally figured out where I go when this happens, or what. Because again, when I listen to some other people talk about this, they'll like pop out and be in the same room and just like walk around. They'll be like walking around, be like, oh shit, not in my body again, I would love to learn how to control this. So if anybody has any insight or wisdom on this, I'd be open to it. I know a lot of you have asked about this whole concept of astral projection, and like, I can only tell you guys what I've experienced so far, and it's just a lot of this sleep paralysis. It's like being sucked out of my body by a tornado, and but when I get out, it's like, yeah, it's like my consciousness is still out, but so far it just takes a lot of my focus and energy to just like not get sucked back in, which is kind of interesting. And what's interesting is on this one, guys, I was like bored, and I was like just playing around in the dream, and I was like, okay, so is this how it works? Like if I think of something or someone, like I go there or like see them, and I was kind of like playing with fire, but I'm like, I think like a beautiful woman or something popped to my mind, and suddenly, bam, there was like this beautiful woman, and very, very steamy situation unfolded. Didn't even like do anything. But guys, when I say like immediately I had the urge to release, like it was like 0 to 100 so fast. I had to like snap myself out of this whole situation so fast, and like pull myself back to my body, and like wake up from this thing and do the perineum exercise and the breathing exercise. I'm like, what the frick was that? Because in dreams, like I've been telling you, I haven't, like, I normally have just an ability to like enjoy the dream and not release, because the plot is always like, no, I won't do that. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not going to cross that line. And it was interesting because in this one, it was like, what the frick was this? Like, is this what, you know, some of the other men have been talking about, where it's like, it looks like a beautiful woman, but maybe it's a spirit, maybe it's a demon, maybe it's some sort of entity trying to get you to release that energy or that power. I don't know. But isn't it interesting that right around this new moon cycle, this full moon, the urges shot up, the there's a cop coming. Isn't it interesting though? Bro's making me lose my train of thought, just driving past me. Urges shot up, this whole like emotional instability, sadness, like deeper emotions that I'm feeling having to come up, and sleep paralysis and out of body experiences kicking up again all around the full moon. This leads me to believe I have not been paying enough attention or drawn a correlation to the connection between SR and all this stuff and these, you know, lunar cycles. So I would encourage you guys to pay attention to that stuff. Maybe keep track with a calendar or something and start to write stuff down and be like, wow, what the heck is this? Because I started to keep a notepad next to my bed, and I am tracking all of my dreams so that when I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm writing the dream down. Because guys, here's the other wild thing. The longer that I get on this SR streak, by the way, 180 days is coming up. I'm freaking stoked for that. I can just tell there's going to be a power up going into 180 days. It's going to be awesome. But the longer that I get onto these, what was I saying about this? Yeah, the longer that I get onto this streak, frick. I'll find it. It'll come back to me. But talking more about that, because I did have a different thought there. Like, I do firmly believe that after 180 days, I do believe there's like these 90-day power-ups that happen in these 90-day increments, which would make sense with, you know, a lot of men talking about how sperm fully maturing at 90 days. That would make sense that then another 90 days of holding it would give you like another level of maturity to the sperm and the energy that you're holding, and just kind of like give your life another upgrade, another level up on that. So I am pretty excited to see that in about 13 days, about 2 weeks. I was talking about dreams before. There it is. Knew I'd find it. So what I've noticed, the longer that I go on these, my street guys here, is that dreams are becoming so crystal clear, vivid, real. It's like dreams, I'm telling you, it's like the dreams are so much more real. Just as real as this right now is what it feels like, or more real even. And I can remember them more. And it's like I can wake up and write them down and try to decipher a message that is coded in it, a meaning for something that I'm supposed to take away from it. And it's really cool. I would encourage you all to start doing this as well. It's pretty darn interesting. And it still does confirm. I know that a lot of you have commented like, I can't think about this breaks my mind. But this concept of that being actually the real world and us being in a dream state right now where we have forgotten everything. Gets kind of meta, gets kind of out there, so maybe that's not something that you're ready to talk about. But regardless, I would encourage you guys to start writing down, keeping track of your dreams every night, and see if there is a message in your dreams that you can code about like what you're working through or whatever. And man, it's so much fun, guys. Like even these dream states, so many of my dreams, my mom's there, and sometimes we're just hanging out, and sometimes the plot is still like she's dealing with health issues and I'm trying to help her like work through them and all that stuff, like what I experienced. But there is something just like enjoyable about the way my dreams are getting now. It's almost like getting to live multiple lives instead of like just having this one life and you live during the day and then you go to bed and then you wake up and live again. It's like you live this life and then you go to bed and then you get to live a whole nother life in a whole nother world, in a whole nother video game, a whole nother plot, and it feels like it's going on forever and ever. And then you wake up and then you have another day here. And there's something about that. Like, the longer that I have gotten on this streak, I'm gonna sit down here. The longer that I've gotten on this streak, it's just they've gotten clearer, more colorful, and more vivid, and more real, and more enjoyable, and I'm able to just remember them and take a lesson out of it. Kind of interesting. Yeah, today's day, man, 167, guys. I'm telling you, pay attention, really look into these moon cycles. I'm going to start keeping track, being a little more intentional of like seeing how I'm doing emotionally and with urges and all this stuff. But it is so interesting hearing Bogdan talk about this, and he recognized it, and I've heard some other guys talk about it. I'm like, is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe everybody's just being pussies about it or something, you know. That's like the first initial like man response in my head, and then it's like, wait, is there something to this? Because I am noticing I'm dealing through some stuff. Like, it wasn't the easiest week, guys. But you know what it's what I always say, guys. These urges, they are literally freaking power-ups. These urges are opportunities. If you can make it through these urges, if you can push through these urges every single time, I'm telling you guys, I get a power-up, and my nervous system gets rewired to hold more energy, and then it's like there's another reaction. And you're gonna see videos coming out before this one where I'm starting to talk about all these like awkwardly long staring eye contact experiences happening in my life. A lot from women, a lot from children, but like it's getting actually hilarious when we talk about this concept of celebrity aura. It's like, bro, everybody wants to lock in on your eyes. It's like they do get a hit of energy from you, you know, when you lock in. And so I experienced that quite a bit, probably like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And then leading up here to this, you know, full moon, all this stuff, more urges and everything, but it's like, it always goes in cycles, guys. If you can make it through the urge, you get a power up. And your body rewires, your nervous system rewires. This is my take, by the way. I haven't heard a lot of guys like, I haven't heard the science explained behind this. So this is just my interpretation. You get the power up. It's only difficult because your nervous system isn't wired to hold that amount of energy yet. So your nervous system has to recalibrate to hold this new amount of energy. And once it does that, well, right before it does that, actually, it gets really difficult to hold the urges. But once it does rewire, then it's simple. Now you can it's easy. Now you can hold this energy again. And it's almost like you can level up on the Hawkins scale of consciousness to getting to resonate and hold a higher frequency and hold more sexual power and energy that you can then exert and use in your life. And then you kind of see the roller coaster going up and you're like, oh, new benefits. And it's like, at this point, they're all subtle benefits. It's nothing like mind altering or world changing at this point. I've pretty much seen all the benefits. Now they're just subtle and internal, and things around me that are shifting a little bit, and maybe it's more abundance, or maybe it's new thoughts, or becoming a new version of myself, or like way more eye contact and like people responding to me and stuff like that. But then you enter a season of that, and then typically when I say season, you enter a short period of time with that, and then typically what I end up seeing is like, okay, maybe another flatline happens again, because now my body has enough energy to go through my body and be like, all right, now here's the next programs, here's the next limiting beliefs, here's the next projects that I want to rework, rewire to move through and fix, and like house projects that we finally have the energy. It's like you're like the landlord, and you're like, oh, we finally have the budget to do the renovations that we've been wanting to do. And finally, like, we can hit these things and get to them. There's people that are going to be walking past me. Maybe I'll start walking. I'll walk this way. I try to make one video for you guys, and everybody wants to be a part of it. Nobody ever gets these gates right. So that's my take on it, guys. You're going to continue, this journey. It's not just a 45-degree angle up like we all hope it's going to be. It's a roller coaster. There's ups and downs. There's power-ups, and then there's the urges. Can I hold it? Oh, it's too difficult. And then you hold it, and then you get the next level, and you're like, wow, more benefits, more aura, wow. And then more flatline, and it's just those three things kind of over and over and over on this journey. And yeah, see if you can draw any conclusions between that and these moon cycles or these lunar cycles. It's pretty interesting stuff. Oh, they didn't even follow me. I could have stayed there. Shucks. That is day 167 in the books, guys. I hope you got something valuable out of this. That was worth the time you took to hang out here with me. Hey, I'm playing around with this idea. I mentioned this earlier, of building a community for guys who are wanting to freaking lock in on getting on long streaks and level up spiritually, mentally, energetically, physically, all the stuff that I've basically spent the past 10 years obsessing over and spending absurd amounts of money on, all of Dr. Joe's work and his events. And I'm playing around, guys, with a community where I could break this down and maybe do a weekly call, like a get together call, support call for everybody going through it, and laying out a challenge for how to get on your first really long SR streak and everything that you need to know along the way. Because, guys, I've made so many videos talking about this concept of building your why and building your knowledge, and there's a lot of you that have commented, you're like, holy crap, dude, I've been using it, it's working, it's changing my life, I'm leveling up, I'm going all in, and your videos are helping a lot. And that literally means so much. It's crazy. Yeah, I've always wanted to get to the point of being able to use my journey, my story, a lot of the bullshit that I have gone through, to inspire and motivate other people. And I just didn't ever think about doing it for just men and, zoning in on that aspect of all of this. But it makes so much sense, because I'm telling you guys, the world is really, really good at trying to destroy masculinity, trying to tear men down, trying to take away men's power. Because when you take away the power of the men, man, the rest of society, it just kind of crumbles, right? It's usually easier to attack the feminine when the masculine is already weak. You see that with a lot of cultures historically that have been conquered and taken over. Hopefully you can still hear me when I'm this distance. I've never really tested it. So that's my idea, guys. I'm playing around with this idea. Let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Again, I've been a part of quite a few communities, masterminds, and they have completely changed my life and allowed me to level up and excel and become a better version of myself very quickly. And I just know that there's a lot of you that are kind of requesting this and wanting to benefit from this. One of these days, one of these NPCs is going to try to take me out on that corner. Nope, don't speak that, Jason. JK. My force field is too big on semen retention. They would total their car without even touching me. So that's what I'm playing around with. And drop comment if that's something you're excited about, something that you're interested in. I just want to start to get a gauge with the community of, okay, who would actually be interested in something like this, and what topics would you be interested in? Because I've had a lot of you express this whole desire to learn muscle testing and kinesiology, and the thing about it is it's not just like watch a YouTube tutorial per se and you got it. I learned it from being in a very high level mastermind group, and we had to jump on live calls, and we basically got coached through it on calls, and that's how I kind of put it all together, pieced it all together, learned all this stuff, and then I was able to figure it out and start applying it. And I'm thinking that's where this whole community aspect would come in with live calls and stuff like that to help you guys out. So I don't know what the rest of it looks like yet. I'm still dreaming it up. But let me know. Might be fun. Peace, love, abundance, guys. Drop me a comment. Let me know what day you're on. Give this thing a like. I've seen this thing called a hype button. You can hype up a post or something. If you got a lot of value out of this, guys, hype this thing up. I think it helps share the video with more men, start to shoot this thing around and support more men. That's kind of the whole point here. So, hey, peace, love, abundance. Catch you later.